Granholm called it a, quote, supply crunch. So joining me now to discuss is Missouri Congressman Jason Smith. He's on the Powerful Ways and Means Committee, the ranking member. Now, I want to ask you, you see the effects of this hack on the Colonial Pipeline. Another group of hackers with ties to Russia released the gang database today online for the D.C. Metro Police Department because they would not pay. These are just a few of the bold attacks in 2021. It's not happening on this scale last year. This is what's happening this year. Is this a test of the administration, do you think?
Oh, it absolutely is. The world's been watching, Edward, and the fact that the administration didn't step in and help protect us whenever you have some Russians trying to extort $5 million, that's absolutely unacceptable. In the first 110 plus days of this administration, you have a crisis on the border, you have an energy crisis, and now you have an economic crisis with the rising cost of inflation. Sure, gas prices might be a little bit more stable, but guess what? They're going to continue to go up, just much like the food prices, much like people purchasing medicine, because of this huge cost and a huge increase of inflation. And it's because of the uncontrollable spending. Just in the first 100 days of this administration, they have either enacted or proposed more than $7.5 trillion of spending. That's $75 billion a day. That's why we're seeing cost of goods and services skyrocketing.
It's a confluence of events here. I want to get back to that hack, though. President Biden not commenting on whether ransom was paid to those cyber attackers, although it's been reported, as you mentioned there, that Colonial paid $5 million in cryptocurrency. Does that in itself set a dangerous precedent going forward? Does it tell hackers, hey, we're open for business?
It does. It makes us look weak, and that should have never happened. You know what concerns me? You look at this administration, the world is watching their actions. They watch that they didn't step in this situation, and they watch the president's proposed skinny budget. All across every agency, he proposed an average of about 16% of anything that did not deal with national security. When it dealt with Homeland Security, he gave a 0% increase. That shows the priorities. That's why you're seeing people cross the southern border rampant, and that's why you're seeing hackers coming after our homeland. It's unacceptable, and it's at the fault of the administration.
Yeah, President Biden is now saying that he wants to work with the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, on an international standard for hacking. Literally, almost nothing big happens in Russia without Putin knowing about it. So the attacks originated from inside Russia against U.S. companies, and now our president wants to work with the authoritarian in charge of Russia to stop it. Am I missing something here?
The president is a day late and a dollar short, is what we say back home. He should have been on the phone with Putin much before this and got everything straightened out. This should not happen to U.S. companies, and the president should have engaged quickly.
Now, Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm facing serious backlash now, admitting that the pipeline is the best way to transport fuel. This after canceling the Keystone Pipeline permit, destroying thousands of jobs there. The climate envoy, John Kerry, also testifying to the same thing. Are they listening to their own data?
They're not listening to their own data. They're not listening to all Americans. Whenever in the first few hours of the Biden administration and they eliminated Keystone, firing tens of thousands of American workers, and you know, just this week she stood up in front of a press conference and said, you know, it wouldn't be such an issue if people drove electric cars. I'm telling you, folks across the United States, they don't want to hear those kind of statements. It shows how out of touch this administration is with the working class.
In the last 30 seconds, I want to ask you a little bit about that with the gas shortage, though. So then are we looking at the new Green New Deal in action? You mentioned those electric cars.
They're trying to implement every aspect of the Green New Deal. It's, for example, the $2.3 trillion proposal of a, quote, infrastructure package. More than $600 billion of that proposal is trying to implement the Green New Deal. They're trying every aspect, whether it's through executive order or the policies and legislation that they're now proposing.
Congressman, I really appreciate your time. Congressman Jason Smith, thank you very much.